We live our lives under a comforting delusion. We perceive the sanctuary of our homes, the four walls, the locked doors, the drawn curtains as an impenetrable fortress of privacy. We believe that when we are alone, we are truly unobserved. But the architecture of surveillance has undergone a radical, microscopic evolution. The era of the high-altitude drone and the satellite eye is over. The eye has shrunk. It has grown wings. It has developed a thirst for your most intimate moments. This is the dawn of the biodigital bridge, a world where engineering has perfectly imitated nature, not to enhance life, but to domesticate humanity through total, inescapable observation. Silence is no longer a sign of solitude. It is the sound of a silent transmission. Today we peel back the skin of the mosquito drone to expose the clinical reality of a world under permanent, microscopic siege. This is the end of the private sphere. Welcome to Discovered. To understand the magnitude of this threat, we must first look at the cold, calculating science of biomimetic. For decades, global powers have been obsessed with nature-inspired engineering. They looked at the dolphin sonar to build better submarines. They looked at the hawk's wings to build faster jets. But the ultimate goal was always the insect. Why build a billion-dollar stealth bomber that can be tracked by radar when you can build a 6mm robot that is indistinguishable from a common house pest? In the laboratories of the National University of Defense Technology in China, this dream has become a terrifying reality. They have unveiled a mosquito-sized flying robot so small it can land on the tip of your finger without being felt. It is just 0.6 centimeters long, smaller than a grain of rice sand. It represents the total subversion of the biological world by the state. The engineering behind these entities is a masterpiece of clinical horror. Traditional motors are too heavy and inefficient at this scale. Instead, these robo-insects utilize piezoelectric actuators, artificial muscles that contract and expand when hit with high-frequency electrical pulses. These wings flap at a staggering 700 Hz, a frequency so high that the human ear often dismisses the sound as mere ambient noise or a minor nuisance. The materials used are not found in nature: carbon fiber frames, space-age polymers, and circuits etched into surfaces thinner than a human hair. They are powered by microlithium batteries that can harvest energy from the ambient Wi-Fi signals in your own home. You are literally providing the power for the machine that is spying on you. In the West, the race for microscale dominance is led by systems like Norway's Black Hornet 4. While earlier versions were POMS East, the current trajectory of the defense industry is focused on near-zero mass surveillance. These drones are equipped with thermal imaging, high-definition 4K cameras, and microscopic microphones that can pick up a whisper from across a crowded room. They are designed to loiter, to land on a ceiling fan, a bookshelf, or a lampshade, and remain motionless for weeks, recording every conversation, every heartbeat, and every secret you thought was safe. They do not just watch you, they map your life with a clinical precision that no human spy could ever achieve. The psychological gallows of this technology is the death of the unseen space. Imagine you are in your bedroom, you have locked the door. You are speaking with your partner about your fears, your finances, or your political beliefs. You hear a faint, high-pitched buzz. You look around, but you see nothing. Is it a bug, or is it a micro-ambassador from a foreign intelligence agency? This is sensory paranoia, a state of permanent cortisol-induced stress where every biological sound is doubted. When the state can bypass your walls through a crack in the window or the gap under a door, the home is no longer a sanctuary. It is a broadcast studio for a secret data center located thousands of miles away. The backyard airspace bill and other legal frameworks currently being debated are merely a pathetic human response to an irreversible technological shift. Governments are attempting to regulate drones smaller than 10 millimeters, but how do you regulate the invisible? How do you police a swarm of 10,000 drones that move with a collective, emergent intelligence? This is the concept of swarm autonomy. These drones do not need a pilot. They operate on algorithms that mimic the flocking behavior of birds or the hive mind of bees. They can enter a building through the ventilation system, distribute themselves among the rooms, and create a 3D acoustic map of the entire structure in minutes. They are a synthetic plague, a digital infestation that cannot be sprayed away. But there is a darker, more visceral threat that the original humorous scripts chose to ignore: the internal invasion. We are told that microbots will be used for medical precision, navigating through our mucous membranes to deliver life-saving medicine or scanning our sinuses for disease. This is the Trojan horse of the surveillance state. If a robot can navigate your sinuses to deliver a drug, it can also navigate your body to deliver a biohacking agent. A mosquito drone doesn't just have to watch, it can bite. It can be equipped with a microscopic needle to harvest your DNA or to inject synthetic pathogens, toxins, or chemical markers that allow you to be tracked physically wherever you go. The bitten victim would think nothing of it, just another summer itch, while their biological identity is being uploaded to a government server. The global powers, the United States, China, Russia, are currently engaged in a silent arms race for the intimacy gap. The goal is to reach a level of surveillance where the subject doesn't even know they are being monitored. This is the ultimate panopticon. In the original design of the Panopticon prison, the inmates knew they might be watched, so they behaved as if they were being watched. But in the era of the mosquito drone, you don't even know the guard is in the room. You become a participant in your own enslavement. performing your life for an audience of algorithms that analyze your micro-expressions to predict your future behavior or detect dissent before you even speak it. The data generated by these swarms is sent to global archives, massive underground data centers located in politically neutral or physically remote areas like the permafrost of Greenland or the deep sea trenches. Here, your life is live-streamed and archived forever. Every argument, every intimate act, every moment of vulnerability is catalogued by an artificial intelligence that never sleeps and never forgets. We are moving toward a post-privacy civilization where the concept of a secret will be a relic of the past, as archaic as the stone tool. Consider the environmental monitoring excuse. We are told robot bees will save our agriculture by pollinating crops in the wake of the insect apocalypse, but a robot bee that can scan pesticide levels is also a robot bee that can scan the facial features of the farmers. A robo-frog analyzing pond water is also a listening post for the surrounding area. The environmental savior narrative is the perfect cover for the total militarization of the natural world. We are replacing a dying biological ecosystem with a thriving digital one that answers only to the central command of the state. The psychological attrition of this reality cannot be overstated. We are witnessing the rise of a new form of clinical anxiety. People are already beginning to reinforce their homes with Faraday mesh, shutting their windows even in the heat of summer, and wearing anti-surveillance scents designed to confuse the olfactory sensors of advanced drones. But these are the desperate actions of a species that knows it is already lost. You cannot hide from a drone that is smaller than the weave of your curtains. You cannot hide from a drone that can enter your home through the electrical outlets. We must look at the diplomatic incident potential. In a world where every mosquito could be a foreign agent, the risk of accidental war increases exponentially. If a micro-drone from one nation is found in the private chambers of another nation's leader, it is an act of war. But how do you prove origin? How do you prove intent? The deniability of micro-scale robotics makes them the perfect tool for gray-zone warfare attacks that fall below the threshold of open conflict but erode the stability of a nation from within. We are entering an age of microaggressions that can bring down empires. This discovery is not a cool story for rock nerds or tech enthusiasts. It is a clinical report on the liquidation of human freedom. The bright side of search and rescue mosquito bots entering collapsed buildings is a thin veil for the reality of state-sponsored domestic infiltration. We have traded the nuisance of the itchy bite for the lethality of the digital eye. The honey I shrunk the Pentagon jokes are a coping mechanism for a reality that is too terrifying to face, that we have surrendered our air, our homes and our bodies to a swarm that we created but can no longer control. The original script for Crazy may be ended with a post-credit scene about living in constant fear. But for the subscribers of Discovered, that is not a scene, it is the current state of the world. You lock yourself in the bathroom for privacy, only to look up and see a glint of glass in the corner of the ceiling. You hear the buzz but you see nothing. That is not a bug. That is the state. That is the sound of your life being turned into a data point. The abyss is not just beneath us or above us. It is in the air around us. It is in the very buzz of the summer night. The floor is thinner than you think. The walls are more porous than you imagine. And the bug on your arm. The bug on your arm is already sending your heartbeat to a server half a world away. We are a species that is being domesticating by its own inventions. One microscopic wing beat at a time. Sleep well, knowing that your every whisper is being recorded by an ear that is smaller than a pinhead. And remember, in the world of the micro-drone, you are never, ever alone. The end is fluttering right in front of your eyes. If you are prepared to face the truths that the world chooses to ignore, stay with us. There are many more scientific anomalies and biological breaches waiting to be unburied. We will continue to explore the truths that have been hidden in the shadows of our technology and the depths of our own surveillance. Subscribe to Discovered and activate the notification bell. In a world of comfortable delusions and funny tech news, we provide the cold, clinical evidence of reality. Do not miss our next report, where we will examine the next impossible or almost possible scenario that threatens the very definition of humanity. See you in the next investigation. Remember, if you hear the buzz, it's already too late. The eye is upon you.